Time now for a look at funeral announcements brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg, 256-245-4361. For pre-need funerals, burials, and cremations, it's Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Graveside service for Henry Taylor Pepper Grubbs, age 85, will be Saturday, February the 18th at 1 p.m. from Jefferson Memorial Funeral Home and Gardens with the Reverend Charles Sims officiating. Burial in the Jefferson Memorial Funeral Home and Gardens in Birmingham. Mr. Grubbs died Wednesday, February the 15th at Coosa Valley Medical Center. He was a part of the Sylacauga Singers, Habitat for Humanity, the Sylacauga Industrial Development Board, and various boards for the Red Cross United Way. The station will be tonight, 5 till 8 at Radley Smith Funeral Home. The family will accept flowers or donations can be made to Habitat for Humanity or to a charity of one's choice. Memorial messages can be sent to the family at radleysmith.com, Radley Smith Funeral Home directing. Funeral service for Mr. Harry D. Wilson, that's Harry D. Wilson, age 61, is Saturday at Greater New Hope Missionary Baptist Church in Sylacauga at 1 p.m. A visitation will be held today from 1 until 7 at the funeral home. The body will lie in state 1 hour at the church prior to the service. Mr. Wilson died February the 9th at Coosa Valley Medical Center. This funeral service for Mr. Harry D. Wilson, age 61, Saturday at Greater New Hope Missionary Baptist Church in Sylacauga, beginning at 1 p.m. Visitation today at Community Funeral Home from 1 until 7. The body will lie in state at the church tomorrow, 1 hour prior to the service time. Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga, directing. Life celebration for Mrs. Juanita Yao Riggins, age 79, is Saturday at 11 a.m. from Bakers Grove Baptist Church in Vincent with Pastor Donald Taylor, the celebrant. Interment in the Bakers Grove Church Cemetery. Mrs. Riggins died Sunday, February the 12th at her residence. Public viewing will be today from noon until 8, with the family receiving friends from 6 until 8 tonight in the Chapel of Remembrance. Arrangements entrusted to Sunset Memorial Chapel of Childersburg. Life celebration for Mrs. May Lois Bledsoe, age 85, is Saturday at 2 p.m. from the Harper Springs Baptist Church in Sylacauga, with the Reverend Fred Smith, the celebrant. Interment follows in the Harper Spring Church Cemetery. Mrs. Bledsoe died Monday, February 13th at Grandview Medical Center in Birmingham. Public viewing today from noon until 8 p.m. in the Chapel of Remembrance. Arrangements entrusted to Sunset Memorial Chapel of Childersburg. Graveside service for Mr. Jack Ernest Smith, age 97, of Alexander City, is today at 2 p.m. from Hillview Memorial Park, with the Reverend John Hill officiating. Mr. Smith, who died at the age of 97, February the 14th, was a combat veteran in World War II and Panama Canal Zone policeman. Memorial messages can be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com. Radley Funeral Home, Alexander City, directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Ola May Lay, age 68, is today at 2 o'clock from Antioch Baptist Church in Talladega. Dr. Matthew Leonard, the pastor, and Bishop George Armstrong, the eulogist. Interment in the church cemetery. The body will lie in state at the church 1 hour prior to the service. Mrs. Lay passed away on Saturday, February the 11th at Brookwood Citizens Hospital in Talladega. Sims Funeral Service directing. Funeral service for Mr. James Purvis Harmon, age 86, of Munford, is today at 2 p.m. from Munford Church of Christ, with Shane Clark and Jeff Clark officiating. Burial to follow in the Hillcrest Cemetery. The body will lie in state at the church from 1 until 2 today. Mr. Harmon died at his residence on Tuesday, February the 14th. Online condolences at urshreyfuneralhome.com. Mr. Harmon was a member of the Munford Senior Center, Enjoyed the fellowship of many there for many years. Flowers are welcome, or in lieu of flowers, donations can be made to the Alabama Hospice Care of Oxford, Alabama. Ursery Funeral Home, Talladega, directing. Memorial service for Beverly Hope White, formerly of Talladega, will be Sunday, February the 19th, from 1 until 2 at First United Methodist Church in Talladega, followed by a memorial service at 2, Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega, directing that service. This obituary report brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. 256-245-4361 for pre-need funerals, burials, and cremations. 2 locations to serve you: Sylacauga, Childersburg. That's Curtis & Son Funeral Home.